WNBA's Brittney Griner is, in fact,
Situation with Caitlin Clark is going viral, where she made some extremely racist.
So the Atlanta Dream just pulled the shadiest move of the season, allegedly benching Brittney Griner indefinitely. And nope, it's not because of performance, injury, or anything you'd expect from a professional league. Word on the street, it's all over a DNA scandal they've been desperately trying to bury for weeks. But now, the lid's off and it's spilling everywhere. Even players from other teams are starting to speak up. And what they're saying? It's explosive. If even half of it's true, this ain't just a team-level issue. This could bring serious heat on the whole WNBA, because this wasn't just some internal decision. It's looking more like a top-down cover-up. And the wildest part? The leak didn't come from outside. Someone inside the WNBA leaked it. A full-blown insider betrayal. This scandal is now officially on blast.
You noticed some of Brittney Griner's strange behavior behind WNBA Commissioner Catherine Engelbert. This may be the real reason why she is still in the league.
Now, before we dive deeper, let's talk about the moment Brittney Griner found out she was getting benched. This wasn't a sit-down with management or a private press release. This went down right before a game. Talk about messy timing. So Brittney rolls up for warm-ups, fully suited and ready to hoop. No signs of injury, no trainers working on her, not even a limp. Nothing seemed off. But just minutes before tip-off, the head coach pulls her aside in front of staff and players. Witnesses say the energy shifted instantly. Brittney's body language changed fast. Tight shoulders, raised voice, clearly blindsided. The convo wasn't broadcasted, but folks near the court caught enough to know. This wasn't friendly. And here's the kicker. There's footage. Cameras caught the tail end of that conversation. And if the full clip leaks, it could blow the lid off everything. Because according to new whispers, this wasn't about basketball. It was personal, deeply personal. And the second those DNA test results hit that private lab, someone high up made the call to sit her down and keep it buried. Y'all, this story is just getting started. And just like that, you can see it all on Brittney's face. First, she's confused. Then it hits her. Anger, disbelief, and straight up betrayal. No injuries, no violations, yet she's being benched. After a tense exchange with the coach, Brittney storms off without saying a word. And then it gets messier. Right after news broke, the Atlanta Dream's PR team drops the weakest excuse ever, a non-health related personal issue statement to explain Brittney's sudden disappearance from training and upcoming games. But wait, it gets even more suspicious. Within just an hour, two of Brittney's own teammates, both from the bench, posted identical Instagram stories. Y'all still protecting this? LOL bet. Now, tell me that doesn't scream something shady. Of course, both posts were deleted real quick, like someone made the call to shut it down before things went viral. But here's where the story really spirals. You remember that rumor from April? The one about Griner allegedly failing a private DNA test ordered by her ex? Back then, people laughed it off like internet drama. But what nobody talked about, the test results got leaked. Not to the press, to WNBA executives. And according to people close to the situation, it wasn't just a baby mama issue. It was a full-on genetic mismatch, as in, nothing lined up. And the second that report landed on the wrong desk, the league apparently went into straight panic mode. Up until then, sources say everyone was ready to sweep it under the rug. But once there was a paper trail, oh, it was game over. Because now there's proof, real documentation, and that makes it way too risky to pretend like nothing happened. Insiders claim the league's been scrambling ever since. They're not just worried about one player's reputation. They're scared that if those test results leak publicly, it'll raise massive questions the league isn't ready to answer.
Griner, she said at a press conference that she will be speaking out about trans athletes being allowed to play. I believe if you've been transitioning to a woman, but you still have the strength of a guy, you gotta play with the guys, man. That's how I feel about it. But Brittney Griner, we got you home. Slow down.
And the silence, it's starting to sound a lot like guilt. Here's the moment that flipped everything upside down. A league medical advisor allegedly leaked the DNA findings off the record to Atlanta Dream's front office. But someone inside that office clearly wasn't staying quiet. They passed those results to two specific players, and not just any two. These weren't random teammates. They were already suspicious of Brittney Griner for months. It wasn't personal, but something just wasn't sitting right with them. They felt like something big was being hidden, and the second they saw those lab results, everything made sense. Right after that, Brittney was benched, and those two players fired off those cryptic Instagram stories. That's when fans started connecting the dots. Did the Dream bench Griner just to stop this scandal from exploding?
Right now you have 10 points, 5 rebounds. We see the Atlanta Dream as being very... Right now she's talking to the refs about holding. We're going to send it back to you guys.
Very important questions there, I'm sure, for Brittney Griner. She said
But here's the piece most people missed. The Atlanta Dream locker room, far from unified. Ever since Brittney came on board, sources say it's been tense, especially with younger players who felt like they were being forced to accept her status without question. And now we know why that energy was so weird. One player allegedly told her agent straight up, "I'm not sitting next to someone who lied about who they are, and I don't care who's protecting her." That's the kind of quote that shows this wasn't just a quiet disagreement. This was personal. Something deeper was bubbling. And now, it's boiling over. What started as whispers in the hallway has turned into a full-blown internal split, and it's not just affecting the Dream. If this mess keeps unraveling, it could rock the entire WNBA, especially now that insiders are confirming those documents were real. And the cover-up, it might have started way higher up than anyone thought. Another player, who's now mysteriously on leave, allegedly confronted Dream management and demanded full team disclosure about Brittney's records. This happened before those lab results leaked. And now that the verified DNA documents are being passed around in private, the team's silence says it all. But it just got uglier. This isn't just a team issue anymore. Word is the WNBA League office advised the Dream to quietly bench Griner indefinitely while they figure out their next move. But don't expect them to admit that. Their so-called official statement deleted within minutes. That's not damage control. That's full panic mode. And from the looks of it, both team and league management are planning to bury this entire thing. For now. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, it's chaos. Insiders are scrambling to find out who leaked that DNA report because that file wasn't supposed to see daylight. And the fact that it did means someone high up wanted the truth out. But honestly, the signs were there if you paid attention. Remember when Brittney suddenly ghosted an entire press tour earlier this year? The WNBA played it off as fatigue. But now we know that was right when those DNA results hit the lab. And what about the Nike deal? Brittney was set to be the face of a new campaign in May until she was abruptly pulled. No explanation, no statement. Her name and image just vanished like it never existed. It's becoming obvious this wasn't a last-minute decision. It was a slow, quiet takedown. And now the pieces are lining up. This wasn't just a benching. It was a move to contain a scandal that's bigger than anyone expected. And if this leak keeps spreading, the WNBA won't just have a PR nightmare, they might have a full-blown mutiny. Then came that awkward moment, caught on camera, where a teammate flat out dodged Brittney's high five during a live game. That wasn't a fluke. It was a signal. Folks have been quietly clocking all the behind-the-scenes drama, the politics, and the shady cover-ups. And some clearly had enough.
What does this clown know? He originally denied breaking laws in another country. Play the clip.
I think it's a crime, honestly, to separate someone for any reason. So I definitely will be speaking up against that legislation and those laws that are trying to be passed, for sure.
It sounds like he's speaking from a place of experience. And what was a crime was when they released you from prison. I'm just waiting on the whistleblower to share the locker room with this Sasquatch to go ahead and come forward with the elephant in the room. The amount of females that are hell-bent on erasing women's athletics in the name of woke politics is just staggering to me. Also, let's not forget that sports is also an avenue for affordable, if not free, education. So allowing a biological male to take up the spaces of biological females in sports is only robbing them of more opportunities. Everybody deserves fairness in sports, which is why biological women need their own category.
A scandal this big should have sparked press conferences and emergency statements, but instead, crickets. Not a single teammate has stepped up to defend her publicly, even though this could end Brittney's career. So the real question now is, what exactly is the league protecting? Legally, the WNBA can't demand medical data unless it directly affects gameplay. But if that data contradicts league eligibility rules, that's a whole different beast. Word is, some execs secretly hoped the DNA results would leak, just so they'd have a clean excuse to cut ties with Brittney without getting their hands dirty. But this ain't just legal, it's deeply personal. Sources close to the dream say the locker room has officially split into two sides. One group believes Brittney's privacy should have been fiercely protected. The other feels completely betrayed, like they were forced to share space with someone who didn't tell the truth. One player allegedly told her agent, "We're told to stand for equality." But when we asked for honesty, we got told to shut up. Let that sink in. And then there's the leaked screenshot, players in a group chat asking straight up, did management know all along? And if you've seen the WNBA's expensive No Space for Hate campaign, this whole situation hits harder. The league preached values, but now, radio silence.
WNBA's Brittney Griner is, in fact, a man. You could possibly speculate, okay, is Brittney trans then? What's the situation here? But there aren't any top surgery scars. I don't give a fuck about women's sports, and I think that most people probably don't care about women's sports, except the women who have been training their whole life to make it on a women's sports team. Like, if this is a successful transition and Brittney is on cross-sex hormones, that means that Brittney has more testosterone, artificially induced testosterone in their system than their female counterparts who they're playing with on the team.
Right,
so it's unequal, it's unbalanced.
There is fault there.
And
But
also, if he is a male, then it's messed up from both perspectives.
Yeah, the only way that she's totally innocent is if she's actually a girl and has a...
As for Brittney herself, nothing. No tweets, no Instagram posts, not even a vague message through her reps. And for someone as outspoken as her, that silence is loud, too loud. People close to Brittney say she's completely spiraling, not just from getting benched, but because she never imagined it would explode like this. One insider spilled that she was trying to handle it quietly behind the scenes. Allegedly, she even offered to sit out a few games voluntarily while they figured out a public angle. But that move wasn't enough. The team hit her with the bench notice out of nowhere, and now it's way too late to bury it. The internet's on fire, and fans are already demanding answers.
Deserve the right to play. Everyone deserves the right to come here, sit in these seats, and feel safe, and not feel like there's a threat or they can't be who they are. Definitely will be speaking up against that legislation and those laws that are trying to be passed, for sure.
And this drama, it's not just crashing down on the dream. Other teams are now double-checking their own player records, quietly panicking behind closed doors. Meanwhile, major sponsors are pulling out fast. Nike, Gatorade, and AT&T have all reportedly paused Brittney's upcoming campaigns, even ones already filmed. Multiple outlets have frozen their WNBA coverage until the league comes clean. This isn't going away, it's snowballing, and someone's gonna have to face the heat. And here's the twist. That leak, it didn't come from the lab. According to multiple sources, it came from inside the WNBA, and not just any staffer. The whistleblower is said to be a former player turned league official who got sick of the lies. She allegedly saw how the league tried to bury the truth for the sake of politics and image. She hasn't spoken publicly yet, but insiders say she's getting ready. And when she does, brace yourselves. She's planning to expose exactly how long the league's known, who covered it up, and why they went to such lengths to protect Brittney instead of being transparent. And now public opinion is turning fast. Some fans are still defending Brittney, saying she deserves her privacy and that her performance should be what matters most. But others, they're furious, saying the league weaponized the identity and inclusion narrative only when it suited them. And now that things are messy, the silence speaks louder than ever. This is chaos, and it's only just beginning. And yo, the comments are turning vicious. Screenshots from Reddit threads and Twitter spaces are flooding in. Fans demanding eligibility audits for every single WNBA team. Others are calling this the biggest cover-up in league history. And honestly, they might be right. Here's what no one wants to say out loud. Brittney Griner was never just an athlete. She was a symbol, a headline, a walking PR package. But if what's being leaked now is legit, that entire symbol might have been built on a shaky foundation no one dared to question. And that changes everything. It doesn't automatically make Brittney the villain, but it sure makes the silence surrounding her situation a lot louder. Because the real question isn't just what did Brittney know or do? Nah, the real question is who else knew and why did they stay quiet? Now that she's benched, the dream is falling apart. Locker room divided, sponsors pulling out, and trust inside the league gone. And one leaked test result might have just cracked the whole damn league wide open. If this really was a cover-up, it's not just a scandal, it's a ticking time bomb. And the fallout, it's only just getting started. Like, share, and subscribe, because the next chapter in this mess is coming and you're not gonna wanna miss it. See you on the next one.